Champagne.
I've been popping champagne since I was a youngin' in my little scooter.
Niggas never talking money, but they talking shit.
Yeah,
I'm really about this money, gotta get it quick.
yeah,
South Atlanta shorty said she love my fit.
yeah.
I take it out her mouth and bust it on her tits. In a 7 Series Beamer and I'm switching gears. What you thinking about me, I don't really care.
Nope.
Never had no fears, we playing truth or dare. I'm in shorty ear, I say what she wanna hear. In a 2-door, then a 4-door. Taking photos with some more hoes. Feel like war hoes, speed racing. Pull a dolo and cheesecake, bitch. Niggas never talking money, but they talking shit. Really about this money, gotta get it quick. South Atlanta shawty said she love my fit.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of the Cause and Effect podcast. This is episode number 12. I'm your host, Chico.
I'm your co-host, Fernando.
We are back with another episode like every Monday. Well, not every Monday. Damn, that was a weak-ass gunshot.
What is that?
Let me see. That was horrible.
Just stop. Just stop.
We're going to get this right.
Just stop.
We're gonna find this
Please
shit.
stop.
Damn it. All right, so
Just stop.
the gunshot is definitely not going to work this time around. I'm going to find it, though. Welcome back, guys, to another episode. And, yeah, man, we're here. What's good?
Just go with you, man.
I'm good, bro. Just grinding.
So this is episode 11?
Nope. It's episode number 12.
12. Last episode was 11.5.
Yep.
Didn't make sense.
Yes, it did, because the episode before that was 11.
So, so you just threw
11.5. It's a half an episode.
This guy's worse than Apple, people. He
You
threw
got-
11. He threw episode 11S.
11S. That was exactly what it was. And it worked, though. It
You're
was
terrible.
good. We got good feedback from a lot of people.
Yeah, I give it up to you, man. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do the podcast by myself.
It was awkward.
I'm pretty
But
sure.
but I'm looking forward to do another one like that just because I want to get comfortable. It sounds crazy to say, but talking to myself. Well, talking to the mic, pause, headset, and computer.
He wants to get comfortable being alone.
Nah, I
Wow.
just like the vibe of if you got some shit to say, just next time I'm gonna have a more aggressive beat
You know what I hate?
and just go
Does
off.
this happen to you, or like when you're in the showers when you actually have a lot of shit that you want to say and you just wish you had your phone to record shit? Like there's things that you think about and you say, or like you just come up with shit in the shower and you just like, damn, that's great. And then you just, as you getting out of the shower and doing shit, like you just forget, and then out of nowhere it's gone.
Yeah, nah, it sucks. It's like
What is that?
it was supposed to be like a horror sound.
Yo, just stop. Just get your hand off the
Nope.
soundboard,
We gonna
please.
get these sounds right, man. Live.
That's what you should
Live.
do. That's what you should do
So-
alone. You should practice these sounds alone.
You know what's crazy that I couldn't because I didn't bring the mixer with me. So I literally was like soundboardless. I was so mad. I was like, damn, I would have been going off on these soundboard right now because I was in the zone.
Thanks God.
But
you didn't.
yeah, my greatest ideas come like when I'm sitting on the toilet.
Sitting in the toilet.
Toilet.
Sitting in the toilet.
So how was your week, man? What you do for
It-
Mother's Day?
Why you put the cricket right before I even answer?
Taking too long, bro. You gotta be quicker than that.
You didn't even finish answer the question.
I mean, asking the question.
Asking the question. And I didn't even start answering it.
Go ahead, bro. We're waiting.
What was the question?
What did you do last week, bro? How was Mother's Day? How's your mother? What's up? Like,
Well, she's good.
talk to the people.
She got a new phone, so she's happy with it.
Dika, you got
But-
a new phone.
But you know how it is. Like, every Dominican mother waits for Dominican Mother's Day.
Yeah, my mother said.
Porque yo te creo allá, so tú no eres de aquí.
My mother said after she got her gifts that she wasn't born here, so she's Dominican. Basically, looking at us like I'm expecting Mother's Day.
So she's waiting for the ones for next week.
Yeah,
because it's next week already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have been like, Mom, pásame su regalo, ¿eh?
Yeah, nah, I was like,
I'll wrap him up again.
It is what it is.
Given to you on the 27th.
Man, listen, bro. You better be giving your mother a gift every week. She be putting up with your shit.
Nigga. Ain't nobody's mother put up with more shit than yours, my nigga. Because you got you got a big pile of shit to put up with. So.
I'm going to have to do like a compilation of all the corny jokes you give every episode.
It's okay.
That'll be pretty dope.
That would be pretty dope? Oh, yeah.
That would be pretty dope.
Just putting a whole bunch of jokes together?
Yeah, man. Oh. It's just going to have like moment. I wish I had the cricket sound on every single joke, and I would be putting that like a compilation, at least every 5 episodes.
All righty then.
So, yeah, man. What's up?
To everybody and their mother. And everybody that is a mother, I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. You guys deserve everything you guys got. And if you didn't get anything, you deserve more than that too. So, I hope everybody had a great one.
It shouldn't even be only Mother's Day. And that just
it should be every day, but
it sounds
it's
crazy
special.
to say that because you're not always going to feel like grateful all the time, because let's face it, everybody gets on each other's nerves. You get on your parents' nerves, they get on your nerves. You're not always going to feel like, I should go get you some roses. Face you're giving me right now.
I don't have to hide from my...
I can't relate.
I don't have to...
I can't relate to that.
I don't even sound like that.
Yeah, in your mind, your judgmental mind thinks like that. I'm talking about
So my judgmental mind's a nerd?
Yes.
Oh, there's no way I can't relate.
I can't relate to that.
This is preposterous.
Exactly how you fucking think. You think like that. Like, if we could have...
There is no such thing I would say to my mother.
If we could have a speaker that can, like, voice your inner mind voice, that's how it would sound.
Oh, my God.
That's exactly how it would sound.
I know that's you, though. That's definitely you.
No,
fucking go hide in Starbucks and shit until they knocked out.
No, I don't go hide in Starbucks. I just leave the crib and do something and then come back home.
Oh, my God.
Or I'm always busy and I come home late anyways. It is what it is. But that's the truth of the matter. You don't always want to be all jolly about, your family. Because, shit.
Well, shit happens regardless, so whatever. It's going to happen to everybody.
So, yeah. I'm letting Fernando conduct the podcast this episode since he was absent. We were absent both last episode. I did the 11.5. I'm letting Fernando, kind of take the wheel.
Okay, that's nice to hear now at the moment.
He's like, yeah, that's great to hear.
In the middle of the podcast.
I haven't written shit down or looked anything up.
All right, guys. So today, you didn't even give a shout out to who was playing in the beginning.
No, I was gonna do that to the end, but that's my boy STA. I don't know if he says STA, but it's abbreviation for Supreme to All. Artist out of Patterson. We actually went to school together, and he was I think 2 grades under me, but he used to chill with us in our in the lunchroom. And I remember we used to all crack jokes at each other. Everybody did it in the lunch table. So whenever we had some jokes to throw out, we always started with him because it was it was not an easy target, but he was the youngest one. So he wouldn't talk much. He wouldn't say shit.
That's fucked up.
So yeah, and now he's doing his thing. But it was always on some cool shit, and he's been doing music for a while.
The quiet ones are the ones to surprise you.
Yeah, he was. But this is the thing though. We would back in the day in Eastside. I remember my mom was always about different shit. I'm not gonna disclose it here.
Other people know, bro.
For another podcast, because then we're gonna have to get into it. So, I'm talking about my guy. So he would always talk about like how he was stacking up, and he was like, yo, like he would wear like tight jeans and shit like that. And back then, we were still on like getting used to this shit.
Yeah.
So
Like they
getting
were
used to this
tight, but
being
they were
being
tight
around.
to us at the moment, not as tight as they're out now, like skinny
No,
jeans.
they were really skinny jeans, like the real skinny jeans. Like these are more relaxed jeans, the ones we use. But you know what I mean, like those jeans where you had to like literally sag your shit so they can like at least you could walk.
Okay.
But the point is that they were just a style that was coming in, and we weren't really like all into it. So that would be the start of the jokes, you feel me? The jeans and stuff like that. But he would always talk about like, yeah, niggas is talking shit, but give me a year or two. And he was like stacking up. He got on his shit. He got on his music shit as well. And he's dope. I see what he's doing. Like, it's like like how you carry yourself like it's like this. I don't even know how to, like a persona. Like this is like my artistic self, and this he has that swag and a lot of dope music. So shout out to him. It be the niggas like that be like, yo, that don't talk too much, and you just see them later and be like, I told you, like, that you gotta applaud, because there's a lot of people that just be out here mouthing off about all these different things, and then don't deliver.
Yep, definitely.
So it's like this thing I heard. It was like the hardest thing to do in life is doing what you said you was gonna do. So he's doing what he said he was gonna do. I didn't actually think it would be towards music, because he never really expressed himself as an artist or doing music. But he always talked about like, just watch, like when niggas say that, they got something in their head that they applying on, like whether it's
Well, maybe he wasn't ready at the
fashion.
time.
Yeah, because I got my other boy that I played his music. It was like in our actually one like first or second episode. Regol, that he does like Spanish trap.
Yeah.
And he was another one that used to tell me he wrote, but he was telling me like he was in the studio writing every day. Like it wasn't like I was in a studio recording. It was like I'm around niggas that record, but I'm just touching up I'm just working on my craft. I'm just quietly waiting. I'm quietly waiting. And it was like he waited that moment. And I think he waited for the best moment, because when he was started, I remember him telling me he would do music, it was an era when people were really rapping, like, and that, when I mean like when Lapis was like throwing a lot of hip hop out there, and that shit was like rocking, and everybody had to have their pen game, like some lyrics shit. It was before Dembow was really like as popular and trap Spanish music, and I feel like him waiting that wave to create himself and come out and launch himself in the era where that shit is kind of popping, that he has good lyrics, but he has that cadence with the trap.
Yeah.
It was like he caught a good wave. And I see him doing some big shit. He's getting a lot of following too from a lot of different countries. Like you see a lot of people from like all the islands around DR. Like how them niggas love Spanish trap, like Argentina, I could say like Ecuador, Costa Rica, a lot of places in Europe, Spain. So when you see niggas like following you like that, you can get big, even if it's not in the U.S. right away. You can get big, and those places, my nigga, you go and do concerts, and you can make the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So if he keeps on hitting those pockets, and then eventually gets picked up, or I don't know if he's under management, but they take him and go and do shows, open up for like niggas like Osuna and shit like that, and then fuck around, have niggas like him opening up for him later on in the future because he got so big. So it starts somewhere, and they doing something dope, Shout out to them. So those are people that actually had like, time I spent with and that I knew before even knowing that they were doing music like that. A lot of artists from Patterson. I can name like at least 20 that I did music with, that I was in the studio with, that I was in a group with, that are still doing their thing and they're coming up. That's why I like this platform, because I still want to shed light and show love to those people out there. So, if you haven't heard your song on the podcast yet, just wait on it. There's plenty more episodes on the way.
Well, you can't say you also weren't coming up with stuff because you've been hitting them with some of your stuff too that you had put away.
Yeah, those are old. You know what's crazy? A lot of those freestyles that I posted, they're not really freestyles. I just call them that because they don't have a name or they're not an actual song yet. But they were written from like almost a year ago.
Stuff that you
Yeah.
basically like show us but don't show anybody
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
and it's like you basically kind of like you saying about them, but you basically have
But-
the same thing. Like you're
Yeah.
creating your stuff.
Because I
That
feel like many years I used to tell people I did music and I just never did anything.
but you know
to
what's
like really keep that consistent, and I was just doing it for me. So then I just stopped talking about it, and like we were just talking about the other dudes. Just
you know what's
started just
you know what's crazy? I feel
pocketing
like
all
your
those verses.
music is being something that is actually being listened to more now. Like the type of music that you write, it's kind of like close to like like positive stuff, like kind of like the J. Cole and like stuff like that. Not saying that it's close to that, not trying to soup you up so much, I'm trying to keep you down
Listen,
here.
bro.
We're doing the podcast. I want you to stay sitting
am-
down. So I don't want you to be
I'm
so high
always
flying.
10 toes down. Fuck out of here.
Nah, but like honestly, like, and I'm
But
not
those
saying
are the people that I listen to. Those are the people that influence my music.
yeah, but you have stuff that is old. Like
Yeah, before even them shits drop.
yeah,
like, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like this is something that's been on you already for for some time. So
And it's crazy because there's certain like phrases that I've heard rappers use now, and I tell my girl or I'll tell like one of you guys, remember that shit I wrote and I said that shit, and I was like, fuck, like I get mad because I feel like they burnt a fucking dope ass line that it's gonna sound like I flipped it into my shit. I'll be like, damn. That's one bad thing about just not like having a studio or not being around people that are constantly doing music, because you put out less of it unless you do it yourself, and that's something that we're working on now.
We're all waiting for you to grab your surfboard.
What?
We're all waiting for you to grab your surfboard. Get on that wave. Go ride that wave.
That ass took me like 2 seconds
I know
to
it did.
understand that. Like, what?
I like that it took you a few.
Yeah, but
He was dead ass just looking around
I
like,
dead ass looked
what?
around like, what is this nigga talking
Hop
about?
on
right
that
now?
wave, my nigga.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll do something, and I don't know. I think a reason why I never really went all out is because I always said to myself that it was just a hobby. So when you say that shit, you kind of don't put that much, push towards it, seriousness. Like people could joke about it, and you just be like, all right, whatever. It's just something I like to do. When you get really obsessive about it, and you just like, ain't nobody could tell you shit. Like this is what it is. I never took that route with it, and I don't know. Maybe it was lack of confidence, or maybe just me not putting enough time and seeing, a way out with it. You know what I mean? I always looked at it as something I just enjoyed and said, yo, if people bump to it, it's cool. If not, or I could have just used that as an excuse to shield myself from being disappointed if people didn't rock with it.
Well, honestly, I feel like people will rock with it. And honestly, I can tell you this because I told you this before, but it's always a time, like you were saying. There's always a time to do things. Like I feel like now is the time for the fact that you're actually more mature. You've been writing more mature than you actually
Back
than
then I was wild.
your age
what
was.
the fuck was I talking about back in the day?
But not only that, but it was something about, like I told you, it was something about your voice back then also. It's like, you hit puberty when you hit like 20. So it was like, it was different.
It's
Nah,
like,
I'm just fucking with you.
can't
Nah,
even-
but
I'm
but
over
you're-
here thinking like, I shouldn't take that shit as a compliment. Fuck out of here.
Nah, but
Take
your-
back everything you just said, my
your
nigga.
voice,
We
your
fighting
voice
after this.
before, and I'm talking about like years back. Like I'm not talking about recently. Like I'm talking about like years back.
When I was
when
in
you
DR
were in
type
high
shit?
school kind of shit.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
like
I
your voice
remember.
was different. Now your voice got more aggressive, which fits more of you, and then and the microphone obviously it sounds different than in person.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now I feel like everything is matching up. Like your
Yeah, who
level of
knows, man?
matureness. Your voice, like the flow, everything is lining up. So like, it's time
If
for you
I-
to grab that surfboard.
Yeah.
Don't
I
look
mean,
around
I
you.
just say, yeah. I just say, I'll use the term of just get in the studio. I don't know about surfboard. I ain't no Beyonce.
Just get in the way, man.
Yeah, nah, I get you though. That's cool though. I mean,
I want to be bumping some. I mean, I have some music of yours already, but I want to be bumping to some shit like that, like a whole
mixtape and shit.
No, like a whole complete song, like a whole.
Yo, I haven't made a full song in a long time.
Yeah, in
like,
a very long time. Very long time,
man. It's been like five or 6 years.
No, more than that.
More?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because I remember the last time you made a full song, I had a hoopty. I had my first hoopty, and that was a while back. So it's been a minute. Damn. And that was in Spanish.
Yeah, I started in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I started in Spanish.
That one was in Spanish. Yeah, so
I went in from Spanish to English, and then I did both. You know what's crazy? That when I was doing Spanish and English, there wasn't nobody really doing that shit out here until Sensato del Patio came out and really got like.
Nigga, Aventura was doing that shit. Nigga.
Pitbull was doing that shit, but he was doing the party thing. But I'm talking about like rapping.
What do you
like,
mean? Like
what?
Like the whole verses, like
mix Spanish and English at the same time. Like who?
Aventura.
Motherfucker.
Fucking
I'm talking
Romeo.
about rap. I'm talking about rapping. And I'm not talking about just one line. I'm talking about you're going verses back to back. Like Big Pun had some shit where he would do like certain little words in Spanish. Pitbull does the Spanish and English, but he does like the party, back in the day when he was rapping, it was like, straight English. So when you really think about it, there wasn't nobody really like taking beats from over here, taking it over there, and then doing English and Spanish when I was dropping shit. And if I tell you the story of when we used to go to the studios over there, I remember we used to, and DR is a lot different, obviously. You're in a third world country. The technology was way less, like what we were what was available to us around here, it wasn't as popping as like studios. Like we weren't around places that had nice studios, is what I'm saying. Like for us to go to a nice studio, we had to go to like Santiago, the city. And niggas didn't have those connections, and we didn't have that type of money. So we would literally have to like go to people's cribs, and they had the microphone. You know the microphones that came with the headphones?
El diantre.
Like we had.
That's like some computer game shit.
Yeah, we recorded on those.
Recorded on that?
Yeah.
Get
we
the fuck
we also grabbed a regular mic. They took the fan, the fans that stand up. You put the one.
Put it behind the fan. Yeah, I seen that. That creates like the auto tune.
No. We took the fan off and we just took the stick.
Oh, the stick to. Are
put
you
the
serious?
stick on the ceiling and we connect
serious?
and we wrapped the microphone there.
Oh my god.
So we had that right, and we was in front of we was in his closet. He had like a closet room. It was kind of like, it was all right. We could fit, but it wasn't like no big, imagine the burning.
So you was in the dark,
the
heat?
In the heat.
And in the dark?
No, we had
light inside the closet?
No, it wasn't a closet. It was like a closet room. Like it was like a room, but he had shit stored in there.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So he had a computer in there, a gateway.
Damn.
It was on the floor. It was on the floor. The monitor was on the floor, and the computer was like falling apart. The computer.
Yeah.
He was on the crate to be on the level on the floor. And I remember this shit like it was yesterday. We used to walk. Imagine walking from the Mama Juana, Route 20. From there, walking all the way down to like a little bit, kind of like PCC. Walking from there to PCC.
Damn.
That's where we walked to go to that studio. And it would be in a hot summer, all year round weather. And niggas is walking up there. Sometimes we used to, get some bikes and ride up there. And we'll sit in that room. And then you see in DR, motorcycles passing by the house. They're loud as shit. So we had to put, we were burning in there because we had to close the windows and put,
what, like cojines or something?
No, Playboy, but thick pieces of wood.
Are
on
you
the
serious?
windows. We were literally sealed in that room because we had to lock the door. So we would be in there, like sweating balls, like my nigga, and we would have to finish a verse and go outside and catch some air.
That's crazy.
So when we talk about like recording and having like struggles, that shit was not a joke. Like it was legit. And then I had that similar thing when I came over here. We was recording in my boy Triple S's studio, and back then we didn't have access to many studios, and we weren't out here like, going into just any studio. We wanted to have like our own thing, and we started off in his room. Pause. And and he had kind of a similar setup. Like he had the fan. He took the fan piece off, and we had the mic on that. He had the computer like next to the bed.
Yeah, was it so hard for people to grab a fucking
A what?
mic stand before?
Well, we weren't thinking about that shit. We were just trying to get it how we had it, like whatever we had access to. And mind you, we were still trying to get our money up. We weren't really good with money management. Like we weren't putting money to the studio. We were putting money into like alcohol and fucking drugs.
Alcohol and drugs?
Yeah, man. Like and clothes. Like
Chico's been a bad kid since he was small. Good to know.
That shit is not young. Like I was in high school. But the point is,
You were young. You were in high school.
Bro, you sound like you 30, my nigga.
I feel like I'm 30.
That's not even old. That's the point. Like, damn.
I feel like 30 is old.
Hell no, bro.
All right, but keep
Hell
going.
no.
Keep going.
So
I'm
the
gonna
point
jump back
is
to that.
The struggle was real, man, and I remember all these things, like how to like create, how everybody would like get in the studio together and just mentally like come up with shit. And
Yeah.
another thing was that we always wanted to go to the studio and prepare in the studio. And when we would go to other people's studio that was like hooked up, they want to charge you an hour. So we couldn't just sit there an hour and just make music. We had to come with the music prepared. So it kind of killed our shit because, like, as a creator, like, I like being in the environment, right? I like being in the studio. I like the music, I like the engineer to be, switching beats and showing me some shit, and I can sit down and write. Niggas out here want to charge you now and be like, yo, you coming with the shit ready? I'm like, bro, we got to have our own shit because, like, dudes ain't. The unity, I think, would come like where you're not taking advantage of the engineer, right? You're not just going over there and you're just wasting his time. You know what I mean? Like, I think it should be some type of like, like unity, some type of like lookout. Unless you're not my boy, you're not coming to the studio unless you're paying an hour. And I know everybody has bills, but when it comes to creating and art, you got to be a star. You have to kind of starve a little bit. You have to sacrifice a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, create those networks, create those relationships with people, and if you feel like the artist is nice or has something, some potential or really passionate about it, you should capture those people, because those people are going to continue to come to you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to continue to come and eventually, when they got the real money to invest, or when they get the situation up, they're probably gonna spend it there.
Well,
That's
I'm pretty
just my
sure.
take on
I'm
it.
pretty sure some of them do that. I'm pretty sure not everybody's the same.
Well, I'm
as
talking about
money
my
hungry.
experience. We never had that availability. We never had those people that were like, yo, y'all can come in here. We can work something out. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have a team. We had the artist. We didn't have the team where the engineer, the beat maker, the person that's there just, creating the vibe, the space, for us to create. So for those that have that today, shout out to you. And it was just like I said, it was lack of execution, like, and thinking long term. If we would have thought that shit was like, if I would have thought that shit was going somewhere like for real, in those times, I would have, saved my money up, made my own studio, figured it out. You feel me? Like, anybody can record. Like, we could have figured everything out as we went and just gone through the bullshit of learning how to record and produce your own shit. But niggas was just trying to be outside chilling. Niggas just want to be outside chilling and just doing all kinds of shit. So that's just a little bit about myself. We kind of had like a mini interview, or
A little struggle section.
struggle section. It was more like reminiscing
Yeah.
about. We sounded like some niggas that was like been through some shit like back in the day.
Well, we all been through some shit. I mean, we're
No, you get what I mean. Like, you know how back in the day our parents were like, we didn't have this shit. I sounded like one of them niggas that was like, we didn't have that shit that you guys have now.
That's what we've been sounding like since before we started this podcast. That's what I was saying. I'm like, yo, like, it's like, all right, so somebody close to me just turned 18.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we're over here looking at things like, damn, where did the time go? And now, like, I sit here and tell this person something, and then I feel like a parent. I feel like I'm past 30.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
and
like,
you already act like a parent.
and I'm over here, saying shit, and it's like, yo, like when they used to give me that speech, I was like, shut the fuck up.
And now you give it every moment.
Now you give it, but you know what it is? It's like now you understand it.
You gotta know guys. Guys don't want shit. You know they don't. You gotta look for the real friends, the friends that really look out for you. Like, we wasn't hearing that shit when our older family.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and this is something that made me feel good. And they told me this the other day. Well, my aunt told me this the other day. My little cousin, he was bugging. Like, for a minute. He was bugging for a minute. Like, I'm talking about, like, for a few months now. Just acting up in school. You know, like, got together with these.
Let me ask you something. What's today's acting out like? Because back in the day.
Well, I mean, he was acting.
Back in
he
the
was
day.
He was act. You see what I'm talking about? No, but he was acting up, like, you know, normally, like every teenager growing up. You know, like when you're a teenager, you just started to follow. You started like trying to find yourself. Like, for example, you know, like,
was he gangbanging?
No, he's just looking for acceptance with the wrong people.
That's what I mean, gangbanging.
No, man, they were just like I don't know what that is today, but like what it is today that they call whatever, but
trolling.
But the thing with him was just
online trolling.
This guy, he was just being because he's always a clown. No, he was just always a clown, but he was being a class clown. He was acting up and trying to do this, trying to do that, listening to music. The same shit that shit that we used to do, like listen to music online. Listen to music in school. What the fuck? Where did that come from?
First of all, was it being recorded? Like, was he doing that shit on Instagram?
No.
So
it was just
really
doing it.
Like that.
So whatever. He was acting up, and then once my aunt would tell him something, like he was like would start bugging, like getting an attitude and shit, like even telling her to shut up and all that. So that shit got me heated.
Oh, you get smacked.
Yeah,
in my house for doing that.
Well, that shit had me heated. Well, my aunt, man, like she's a little soft with him, and then that's a problem. But then again, you know, like that's her only son.
Yeah,
it's only her. Also, you know, like his father's not there.
Yeah. So.
And then, you know, basically, like, he's everything to her. So she's like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do this to you. But then at the end of the day, it's like, yo, like, you know, he's bugging. But it's more like the same thing that they basically tell us. You know, like, if you chill with 10 bums, who's going to be bum number 11? Like, you feel me? Like,
my guy.
And then that's the thing. Like, he was hanging out with a whole bunch of kids, and the teachers were telling my aunt that. Because the thing is that he's a good student.
Yeah.
Was that my phone?
That was your phone, bro. What kind of sound? What was that?
That was a reminder. Don't worry about it.
I thought my shit was bad.
And yeah, so basically, you know, he was getting mixed up with people and like the wrong kids and stuff like that. And you know, he's a good kid, like especially, you know, with school and stuff. So man, I went and gave him the talk. Like we had to have a talk. Like, you know, got to a point where like he got my aunt like crying. Like she felt like she was being a bad mom. Like she felt like she wasn't doing good. Like, you know, because you know, maybe like when you see actions being repeated, it starts making you doubt. Was
he seeking attention because he was going through?
That's what I was trying to figure out. But he gave me no answer, and he had no answer to it. He just didn't have an answer. So what I got from it, but I give him, like, you know, I sat down with him and I spoke to him. Like there was a point where I was mad and I was cursing and everything. But then there was a point where
I was
where
cursing,
and I
was
never even
mad.
no, I
Don't
never
you curse on a regular, bro?
I never cursed. No, but I never cursed in front of him. Like I
Oh.
never tried to do that. And
Oh, you
you
one
know,
of
but I did
those.
that, and he saw how serious I was, so he was like attention, like he was like there, and
I mean,
and
I guess that is good. Not cursing around. The young kids will actually, when you do, they be like, "Oh shit!"
yeah, well,
shocked
it
as hell,
made
like,
it.
"Did you just
It
say
made
that?"
him, dude. It made him feel like that because my aunt just called me today. She's like, "Yo, I haven't like I never." Not that I never forgot to call you. I just wanted to see how long this was gonna last for. She's like, but he's like a completely different person. He's like the way he talk, like he doesn't talk to me anymore like that. Like the way he treats with me. And then he had an issue where my aunt, like, she had to worry about, like, she almost got fired at her last job, because she had to keep calling him all the time to wake him up so he can go to school. Like this kid would not wake up by himself. And she bought him a phone and everything, and regular things like that. But it was a struggle. And dude,
That's that new generation shit. I wish I got a phone when I was in high school.
My nigga.
Well, I had a phone in high school. Niggas is getting that shit niggas are getting it in grammar school.
I had a phone when I was in grammar school. Well, it wasn't really my phone. It was my mother's phone, but she used to tell me it was mine too, and we used to share it. And this phone was so old that for me to take a picture with it, the camera was like detachable. It was like you had to plug the camera in the bottom of it. It was like, like if you know how you plug in the adapter now on the iPhones, like to use the headphones. It was some shit like that. You would plug it in and the camera was down there. And then sometimes, like,
I never seen something like that.
I think I still have that shit. Like, I still have that shit. Like, I'm gonna show this shit to my kids type shit. Like, this is a struggle we used to go to. I'm gonna turn into my mother again.
First of all, that don't even sound like a struggle. That was actually dope back in the day.
It was terrible.
What was being used?
Well, look. First of all, it made the phone long as hell. Second of all, sometimes you will click it and then it won't like connect, so you couldn't take a picture. Like you had to like.
But what I'm saying is, so you're saying that there was phones out there that had the camera already installed in the phone.
Well, that was after that.
Exactly. So you were kind of like in the fucking, ahead of the
game.
Kids were like, "You got a camera? I don't got a camera on my phone."
Yeah, but I wouldn't use that shit. Well, I will only use that shit like after school, because that's the only time that I got it.
Listen, I had a phone when I was in DR, bro, and I was like in freshman year, and it was one of those Sony Ericsson.
Yeah, I remember that.
With music in it. And
I
shit.
remember that.
It was bright orange, bro. Like
my first official phone was.
I didn't even have games on that. I didn't even have games on that damn phone.
I want to say official phone because it was a phone that I always had myself.
The Sidekick?
Is when I was way before that.
Oh, you had like the bleeps?
The Nextel, yeah. I had the walkie-talkie Nextel. That's when I started as a freshman.
I didn't get to experience that wave of Nextels.
Well, I was working. So
Where?
I was able to buy it. Huh?
Where?
I was being what's it called? It wasn't like a school bus, but it was like a private minivan helper. So basically, like, it was my grandfather, and I was the one, and I was a helper, and then we would go pick up these kids and stuff like that. It was like for summer school, like they would take them to like a program.
My question is, how much did those phones cost back in the day?
They weren't that expensive. Plus, I got them from Fausto, so it was like he gave me like some payment plans, so I was able to afford it. I don't remember though. Nah, but it was not like no more than. I believe if it was $250, it was a lot. It must have been like $200. Plus, when you get a contract, remember, like back then, they used to get you in contracts a lot.
You used to get raped in contracts.
So
back in the day.
So they were definitely like.
Didn't parents used to get like crazy phone bills?
Dude, they used to charge you per text before. It was 10 cents per text.
Every day, bro.
No,
we were talking
before.
To me,
that's why I had to get the walkie-talkie, because that was the only thing that was free. The bleep. The bleep was the only thing that was free, because they would charge you per minute, and they would charge you per text, and then there wasn't really internet like that.
Okay.
So
now I know why people was making such a big deal when it was unlimited talk and text.
Dude.
Shit.
Dude, when T-Mobile came out with that whole shit after 9, like, it was a wrap. Like, niggas' mothers was getting pissed because you would be calling people's houses at 9 o'clock. Like, ya, esa no son la hora para tu llamar, ¿qué? Está acostado. You hear them in the background. No, I'm not, ma. That shit was hilarious. That shit used to happen all the time. Like, your mother trying to say you sleeping. What you doing calling? And then you hear them in the background like, no, I'm not.
I used to come out of school, and I had, like, girl's number, and I was in grammar school. And I used to hate being on the phone, and my mom be like, "Allo," and I'd be like, "Yo, I'll call you right back." And I would click. My mom like, who the hell you on the phone with? I'll be looking at her like with the crazy eyes, like I'm not even on the phone. Like,
yo, well,
I was just looking at something.
These new kids now, they have it so much easier, bro. Like, they have. Well, first of all, everything.
We have it much easier, bro, because we benefit from this shit too.
Well, yeah, we do, obviously. But growing up, you know, things for them it wasn't as hard as it was.
I mean, shit wasn't that hard back then.
No, it wasn't that hard.
It was a lot simpler back in the day. I didn't know who was a hoe back in the day like that. like you had to be really in the streets to know who was who was doing what. Like, nowadays, all you got to do is go on Instagram. But back in the day, you had to be, like, around to really know what was going on.
It was more enjoyable.
Yeah, because shit had to travel before you heard about it. Mm-hmm. Like, you missed out on a party, and you heard about, like, everything that happened, like, 2 days later. You mad as hell, like, damn. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's like people are recording the party, so you feel like you're there.
Nigga, while the party's going on, like, you already noticed.
That's what I'm saying. And then... go to those parties, and then I even enjoyed it like they were back then.
Exactly. And a lot of times the videos look more lit than the parties actually.
This generation is dope because of the benefits and the things we've had, like the technology.
They didn't have as much. Whack. They didn't have as much fun as we did.
It's so whack when it comes to experiences. And what I mean by that is, like, the experiences that we had where we were like
physically,
we were like in the now. We were like experiencing some shit that, you know, we could look back on him and, you know, and be like, yo, we went through all that and we knew about this when this and the third was popping. Like, nowadays kids are like, I want to be like some like Trippie Redd, and you're like, no, the fuck you don't.
Who the fuck is Trippie Redd?
Yeah, I'll show you. It's like another 6ix9ine.
Yo, I'm really feeling old. Why?
It's just the music.
Why?
You know why I love music? Because music kind of shows you how, like, I don't know, it just shows you how you're aging. If it makes sense. Like, if it makes any sense to you. In my head, like for example, when I was listening to DMX, if I were to play DMX for a kid that's in high school right now, maybe some of them will like it, but some will probably be like, nah. I like Trippie Redd.
Well, a lot of people now like that wild shit. And DMX was always wild.
But this is the thing, bro. I'm talking about the words he's saying.
Okay.
The cadence, like the flow, the type of beats. Like, they're not these fun records. These are some shit that, even though we're wild, but he was saying some shit. Like, listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, listen to it and you're like, yo, this dude was a beast. Now you're listening to certain people and you're like, what did he say? Because I couldn't understand it. But those are the kids that want to be like that. That's why they're doing videos a lot. You know, that's why I look at the music as such a, like, deeper than just, you know, the fame and all that. It also, like, you see the phases that generations go through. Because if I was listening to some Tupac, and I like Tupac because I like his lyrics, but I still kind of, like, it took me a while to, like, grow into that sound. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the sound was, I was more into D-Block DMX because Tupac was way after me. Way before me, actually. Like, way before me. So,
yeah.
It was like.
Because you're not this, you acting like you was like, you must have been like 100 now.
No, that's what, yeah, obviously. So, you know what I meant. But Tupac and Biggie were they got some great music. And there was some music that was redid and all that. Like, they made it sound, you know, a lot more in the now, whatever the case is. But I was just like, shit, this is some good music. But it took me some time to, like, really appreciate it, is what I'm saying. Like, I wasn't appreciating it. So I like looking at like when I ask my younger cousins, I'll be like, yo, what you listening to? And when he say he one of his artists that he was listening to was J. Cole and Kendrick, I was like, oh shit, you're a good one. You one of the good ones. Cause you know, he
guy.
also listens to that other shit that we sometimes find ourselves bumping to, cause it's like it's fun music, it's just catchy music. But when he does the fun records and they're like, when he does the fun records, when he's listening to the fun records, I'm like, like I get it, you know, I could bump to it, but you better take that off if you're gonna you better not keep playing this music for too long, cause I feel like I'm gonna lose my mind. So
this certain song, like for example, like 6ix9ine or 69, whatever you call them. Like I can't
use another example. Look, bro, look up a new artist, like another artist. Use a different example, like Trippie Redd. Look who Trippie Redd is. I'm tired of talking about 6ix9ine, bro.
Well,
No, I'm tired of using him as
I'm,
an example, period.
well, I'm not using him as an example. I'm using his music as an example.
Even his music, because his music is, you know what's crazy? That there's a lot worse music out there. Look at Lil Xan or something like that. Like, yeah, that face you gave me, exactly. When you see who it is, you're like, oh, nah. What? Like, so my point is, I wasn't talking about that to get worked up about it, but I'm just saying, like, you could see the transition in just the world period through music, because you can see.
I
like
never
John,
seen this dude.
Yeah.
Lil Xan.
Yeah, but he's popular in a lot of young kids. Like, look at his followers and look at his, look at his views. Look at what he's doing. Like, oh, go on your Instagram. You'll do a lot. Go on Instagram. You'll have a lot more fun on Instagram.
Oh
so
my God.
He said some shit about Tupac. I believe he said some crazy shit about Tupac, and had everybody talking about him. But that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these young kids, oh. Okay, I think it was Meek Mill on his interview. Did you see Meek Mill's interview on The Breakfast Club?
No.
Well, his interview, bro,
So a part of it, not the whole thing.
was dope. But he said something like that. He was like, he told, I think Charlamagne, he said, I'm correct me if I'm wrong later on, those that are listening, but he said something either on The Breakfast Club or somewhere else where he said the kids from the suburbs are taking over hip hop. It's not the streets anymore. It's the suburbs. Like, and what he meant by that is that, kids aren't really in the streets. The ones that are popping right now, they're kids with fun records, and they're just, doing a lot of different drugs. When you come to, think about it, there's not really much that come from the School of Hard Knocks, where like they were
That's
either
true.
hustling or they
Yep.
were out here really grinding for music. Not taking anything away from the new kids and the new music. I'm just saying that their come up is a lot different. It's a lot different. So when it comes to that, what it affects our people, our family, our youngins that are coming up in our family, is that those kids are also home, and they're going on the internet thinking like, oh, this is the streets. That's not the streets. That's the internet. That's not the streets. In the
Yeah.
streets, you will get killed. Like, don't play around like that, because you're gonna find some trouble out there, like with some real people that are still going by the old ways.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that they just, people think that they're untouchable because of the internet. You can
Well,
just be,
that just happened with who I forgot the name of that girl. That girl that wants to be like, they just became like internet famous and shit.
Oh, you talking about Bad Bobby?
When Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah. No, that's not Bad Bobby. That's
No.
that Whoa Vicky girl.
Yeah,
The one that be talking crazy.
Yeah,
I get so annoyed when I
she said
hear
some
her on
crazy
Instagram.
shit.
Yeah,
where
she
some
was
other
saying-
dude about him,
Yeah, she was saying, fuck
And-
Snoop Dogg, he's a pimp.
and
he's a pussy.
he
saying
was
all these
like,
crazy
and he
shit.
put that bitch on the spot, like.
Nah, he said, you know what's crazy? He said it like in the funniest way. He was just like,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't got no time. And then they apologized because they didn't know what they were doing. Like, that's what I mean. Like, they said it, they didn't even know. Like,
they
who
said
was
that
Snoop
somebody
Dogg.
told them to say that.
Because these kids don't know who these artists are. Like, people think we're lying.
How you don't know who Snoop Dogg is?
Bro, when you're around people that are listening to the music that they're listening to, you're not going back to listen for Snoop Dogg.
That's crazy.
We know who Snoop Dogg is. But a lot of, like, these kids are 17, 16, 18 years old. You got to think about it. They didn't come up listening to that. They come up listening to Drake. Those are more of, like, the people that were transitioning before the mumble rap. Let's say mumble rap. I'm going to use the word mumble rap or trap music. You know what I'm saying? Migos came after. All these other dudes. And that's where they coming up on. They're not listening to fucking Snoop Dogg.
Like, so hustles on my chicken. What's the point of that?
I don't know, bro. So
Chicken teriyaki.
the whole
Why
point
they
of
always
this
talking about?
conversation,
Why they always talking about chicken in the trap?
because they kind of like they're making
They-
that as like
they don't know
as-
what to put in that to
the
basically
pot?
no, like they don't know what to put into that verse that matches the rest of the song.
No,
So they just throw whatever matches.
When they use chicken and stuff like that, they're talking about either money or drugs, bro. They just use it. They make it as a reference as food. It's the same way as you're saying, I'm making all this bread, bang, cheese,
Wow,
mozzarella, parmesan.
I guess
The list
I'm-
goes
well,
on
you
and
wanna-
on.
All right, J. Cole.
No, that's Kaz.
Uh,
That's Kaz from Dreamville. That's one of J.
what I
Cole's
was gonna
artists.
What did I say? Well, yeah. Well, you're more into the music than I am, so you probably understand it that way. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
is he
yeah.
saying?
Like my thing is that I analyze things. Like I really deep dive into music. A lot of people just like vibing up to the moment, and I guess everybody has their own like way of interpreting music and their own way of cope. Like you know, taking the music in. You know, like there's some people that just want to listen to music when they're in a vibe, like they just want to like have fun and just drink, and there's some people that like listening to music to think, to just get something from it, get it. Like there's kids, you know, believe it or not, like you hear these rappers that really spit like real good messages and talk about like real shit. They get a lot of fan mail from people that are like suicidal, depressive, like they're going through shit in life, and they're like, yo, I could relate to that. And that's what I like about J. Cole's interview. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about his interview because it was kind of like the Meek Mill interview, where their views and their perspective is so, you know, it's just in a different level of thinking, where you could see the growth. You know, you see the development in their just themselves, period, not just their artists or their persona. So you hear the J. Cole interview, he talks about that, like, just, what was I saying?
This guy.
No, I dead ass just
The
went
J.
off.
Cole interview.
What was it? What was it before that?
You would.
The impact in their
Yeah,
music. The
there you go.
impact, the people, how they impact those people in their music. I listen too much of the Joe Budden podcast because now I'm doing what he does, and he fucking forgets shit. Like if you listen to the Joe Budden
No, but
podcast,
you just normally do that. So and then
Yeah,
you
but
you distracted me. You made me forget. But
it
keep
is what
going.
it is. His impact. He was talking about like a fan mail. Like he released his album, and not even 24 hours later, he has a long message from some dude that was going through like a drug abuse, and he was coping with drugs because of his past with his father and this thing. Like the story just is a long story, but when you got people that are hitting you up and saying like, "Yo, you helped me get through this." That's why I like music, because I wanted that. I wanted that feeling that I was able to like create that type of moment for even if it was just one person. You know what I mean? And a lot of people listen to Eminem, and there's a lot of people that are attached to Eminem's music because they felt like he helped them through certain things. Because even though he was talking about violent things doing to like his girlfriend or his mother, it was like it was pain. You know what I'm saying? Like it was pain. It was just like me expressing my pain, and instead of actually acting upon it, I was rapping about it. These are my thoughts. Like there's people that probably going through similar things, or that were treated that way, or you know went through certain abuse, or
A lot of
had
those people
certain
feel like they're
anger
alone.
towards their mom, were alone, and those artists were there like for those moments. And that's why some people, when you talk about the artists, they'll go out their way to make sure that, you know, for like diehard fans. That's what fans are. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they're fans. They relate to you. They feel like they know you. But he also talks about people idolizing a lot, like the artists, and looking at them like they're gods. And then when they do something crazy, you're like, damn, I'm so disappointed in you. You know, you killed, like, and they just start bashing the person, and they destroy their legacy. When at the end of the day, you know, everybody's human. You shouldn't put so much weight on a person. So,
Sure.
we ran off on a whole different thing, but we're talking about millennials. We're talking about ourselves. Yeah, man, like shit is changing. So when you look at the and I want to stay on that topic when it comes to like people, hitting up artists for going through depression, going through hard times, you know. Another thing is that you see a lot of in the artists in the music right now is that they a lot of them act like emo, like how like suicidal, like they're like depressed. Like a lot of their music, a lot of their like posts are dark posts talking about like I'm drinking these pills to numb the pain. I just want to be away. I don't want to be alive anymore. Like they use these stunts sometimes as a troll, like to troll people and get some type of like conversation going and who's this person, or getting, attention, so to say, let's just say attention.
Attention, yeah.
And nowadays when people are really going through real shit, like, and they really are like, mentally disturbed and they're like depressed or they're going through these things, we don't even know how to like, if they're being honest, like, are you really going through that, or are you just on the internet right now
Looking for
talking
the
shit,
same.
like looking for the likes? Are you really, doing something? Are you really like going through that, or are you just creating a story to, get a like? And it sucks because that's what a lot of the music, I call it like emo rap in a way, mumble rap, and certain things like emo mumble rap, because there's a lot of like dark, sad stories like of them, just talking about all these different, shit about pills and lean. I don't
This
even know.
guy.
Like I'm just thinking about all that. Like it sucks because there are people that are really going through those things, and a lot of people are like, I'm not reaching out to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you cry wolf so much you don't even know who's really in trouble or in need. So what do you do in that situation? Do you reach out regardless?
I feel like the way that we should see it is as, if you want to go out of your way and help that person, just do it regardless. I mean, eventually the truth will come out, and it's sad that if it will be sad for you to see that person was bullshitting or just trying to cause attention or whatever. And I mean, I feel like if maybe you find that out, it's like, you know what, dude, like, either you tell them something or just leave it alone.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like this. I think that comes back to the same thing that we always do. Like, for example, like when you're in the street and you see a homeless, and for some reason you want to, like, it's not like that you see a homeless. Like, it's not that you see a homeless and you don't feel like that person. Huh?
You're like a homeless person.
Yeah, homeless person. So it's not, well, sometimes like you see somebody and you're like, damn, like, here you go. Like, you look like you're struggling, like you're looking for something to do, whatever. But sometimes you see the person and you judge them. You start thinking, if I give this person money, they'll probably use it on drugs or something. So I don't want to like support that habit or this and this and that. And then you start judging when you shouldn't. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that should just come out of your heart to do, whatever it is you want to do, and let God worry about the rest. You feel me? And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with this. If you see somebody with that, I mean, my opinion is like, if you see somebody like that and you feel like you can help, just help. If that person is faking it, then that's gonna be fucked up for them. And if not, at least you did something. But at the end of the day, you won't know until you do it. But I mean,
man.
but there's a lot of people trying to get attention. Like, everybody wants attention nowadays, especially like the younger people. But the thing is that I feel like it's just social media just paints a picture that is so crazy. Like, you could, like, for example, you could be sitting in your house right now and let's just say like you're young and your parents didn't let you go somewhere, or you couldn't go somewhere or whatever.
Yeah.
And you will go on your story and you will see everybody lit. Like everybody will be having the greatest time in the world. Everybody will
Bro.
be here. Everybody will be there, and you feel miserable as fuck.
Miserable.
And we didn't
You
have
leaving
that.
the crib.
And we didn't have that.
dead
Like for
ass-
example, like when I was young, like we would like watch MTV or some shit like that, or you know have some fun or whatever, watching TV or doing something.
Yeah.
But now we have social media. Like that shit makes you feel even more miserable.
I mean, I remember one day I got over that. You know how? I saw this spot that was lit on Snapchat. And I said, I'm going there right now. I'm going there right now. I'm not missing out. And I pull up, go inside, bro. And I wanted to fight everybody because I was like, this is not lit. It was like one of those, you know, those movie trailers where the movie looks fire, and then you go and watch the movie, and you're like, what happened to all the fire?
Halfway through the movie, you're like, what the fuck am I
Did I
watching?
pay for? Yo, I was in that, literally, I had to make the best out of it, but I dead ass in my head was like, yo, I want to fight one of these dudes because I had to pay to get in here. And these niggas are false advertising their fucking parties out here. These niggas should be promoters because they made this shit look lit. So, you know, point is, man, the social media could be deceiving. People on social media could be deceiving. You know, people, period. Yeah, we are people that seek attention, obviously, and we have the perfect platform to do so. You remember back in the day, there was a MySpace, and you know, that you know what it is? This podcast is going to be named Back in the Day because I think I've said back in the day
This
like
guy.
100 times already. MySpace, we used to take, there used to be people that took pictures like crying, you know, like sad, and they had to like write this long caption, and it was like kind of your way of seeking attention or venting because you felt like you couldn't really vent, and you had like a whole bunch of strangers looking at your shit, and you're like, let me just vent to these people.
How did people used to call attention back in the days? I don't remember that.
Bro.
I mean, well, I was
There's
young to
many
like even be
ways.
looking for that, but
Many ways. No, I remember all that. I used to do. I'm like, listen, bro. If you had my old Instagram and my old MySpace, you a
This
real
guy.
one. But don't ever tag me on some shit from back in the day on my old Instagram and my old. If you have MySpace, you should just not hit me up. Period. But you get the point. Like we was back in the day, we was corny and mad. Like,
is that even still like available? Like, can you go to myspace.com
yeah,
and
I
let
got
me
in.
see.
I got into my MySpace.
Get out of here.
I have the
How
password.
do
and
you
everything.
how do you still know that?
I just know, bro. I use the same thing. And I had like 3 different emails.
Oh
that I had
my
access
God,
to.
it still is
Bro,
available.
I went in there and I had my music, my old music.
But what
Yo,
is
I
this?
have
Shit, this should look like MSN.
guys,
This should look like MSN, like the MSN news page in the beginning. What
Yeah,
the fuck is going on
yeah.
with this page? What did
It's
what
like,
did it
I don't know.
become?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I just know that I went into my page
Yeah, it's all
and
about
I
news.
still had my music. I still had I still had my music page with one of my old songs that I can never get out of MySpace.
Dude, I think I'm
I
gonna
was
try.
never able to recover this song, bro, that I recorded.
I don't even remember what my fucking email. I think it was like DR's Papi Chulo something.
It was 100% DR's Papi Chulo. You was one of those Dominicans because in my AOL, my aim was DR's Come Plátano.
Yes, it was.
Pause.
Yeah. Yes, it was Come Plata.
That
Oh
shit was
my
so corny
God! What
and
the
inappropriate.
fuck? And with a Z,
Yeah.
DR's
DR's.
Papi Chulo, and then
Niggas-
and then we
niggas-
used to use a whole bunch of money signs and a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah. Those are the good old days.
I don't even think that. Does that even exist? I don't even know if I deleted that shit.
Yeah, man. So the point of this podcast, man, is we just wanted to talk about the old days, our war stories.
Yeah, I need to remember my MySpace information. You just got that on my head now. I want
Yo,
to see if I
man.
can get
You
through.
did you ever had a Mi Gente?
Yes, and it's
Yo.
Conics.
I had at Mi Gente, bro. I was lit on Mi Gente. I think I was pretty popular on Mi Gente.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna brag about it. Oh shit, I almost took everything apart here. But I was pretty lit on Mi Gente because I was getting kind of like my sister like to help me out with certain things.
Yo,
On MySpace, I was lit.
Yo, your sisters were
My sister
yo,
Lee
your
was
sister,
super
yeah,
popular on MySpace.
Lee was super popular, but she was super good
Nice
at
with
hooking
that-
up the
with
pages.
Oh my god.
Yo,
Yo,
oh
I
man.
remember I tried to
Yo,
I
no-
tried to do like the coding, and she was like, "Nah, you gotta do this and the third." And I was like, "What the hell did you just do?" I had
Yo,
money coming down on my page.
How was she so good? I don't understand. Like I used to send her. She was all the way in DR, and I had to send her my sign-in information because I'm like, yo, you need to hook my shit up.
Yo, that back in the day, niggas wasn't doing nothing crazy because you was sending your signing information. You could have gotten exposed.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
sister had so many people
It's
on
true.
MySpace,
Yep.
bro. Like my sister went on so many people
Yep.
and girls
yeah.
MySpace. Bro,
Yeah.
I remember because I was go to her room and be like, "What you doing?" She's like, "Building a
Hooking
page."
up-
And
hooking
I'm
up somebody's page.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Are they paying you for this?" Like, I remember asking that. I said, "You should get paid for that." And I was just like giving suggestions. I wasn't like I was telling her to do so. But my sister was so
qué
nice.
palomo
She
we
could have
were
made
before.
some money, bro. Like, listen. And you know what the thing is that there was so many generic pages that you would just go and just copy a page and it would just be. But she would make it personal. Like it was all your things you liked in one. You know what I'm saying? Like
It was. Yo, that was dope. Yo, kids. Yo, people
That's
like
another
young
thing, like-
young people now, like they will never know that. I mean, I think that shit was so dope. Like going to a Facebook page now is so like all right, it's just the person.
it's a news page,
It's
bro.
just a news page and that's it. But before it was so much like, I don't know. I feel like it was so much better because it was like you go in and it was the person's favorite song at the moment playing. Boom, the favorite song started playing. You like, oh shit. Well, first of all, when YouTube didn't have music and shit like that, when we were able to stream music from people, like I used to remember people's pages because of the song they had. So I will go to somebody's page so I could listen to that song because I didn't have it. And then I will go to another person's page and listen to that song, blast
the
it.
first time I heard Lil Wayne, Something You Forgot. Not the first time, because it was in everybody's page. Lil Wayne was on every single person's
With the
MySpace.
droughts, or the drought albums the mixtapes that he was dropping.
That song
yeah.
with the song that he's talking about, like something that you forgot, that he was talking about, like
I know
breakup.
yeah,
That
I know what song
song,
you're
bro,
talking about.
was
I
I was
forgot how
playing
it
it
goes,
the
but
other
I know what
day.
song you're talking about.
I know how it goes, but I'm just not gonna do it because I'm gonna mess up, and I don't want to mess up the words. But that song, bro, I was like, yo, this song is lit. And I remember two girls that I used to always go in their MySpace to just listen to those songs, but also to look at their MySpace.
You heard, girl?
Nah.
But nah, yeah, that shit was mad dope. Like first it was the music, then the background, the little. Well, we had emojis before.
Emojis.
Yeah,
What the fuck was what?
the emojis. It's just that they weren't like on their phone like that. But we used to have like those smiley faces and all those shit
but
like,
it was
with the hearts and shit
limited
like
as
that.
hell.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously we didn't have all of those emojis that we have now. But we still
had
had
the little-
emojis then.
Yeah,
It's just they just weren't as popular as they are now. What's it called? What else did they have? Well, there was a whole bunch of other shit. But
Bro,
you were
there was
able
a
to.
time
You
where
were
we
like,
went from one song to like 4 or 5 songs.
I felt like
and you
it used to
had a
feel-
playlist.
It used to feel like you will go to somebody's page and you will know everything that person loved just by going to the page. Like if, for example, like you will
Because
go
the
to my page,
personality.
you will go to my page and you will definitely know I used to love D Block. It was like
Styles
LOX.
P.
Like it was like a fucking main thing. So it's like you will get that from the get. You will know that I will like car because I will have a car or I will have something around.
Yeah,
Right,
I
and then
remember.
you will definitely know I was Dominican because the Dominican flag will be hanging somewhere around the page as you scroll down. Remember there was like a thing where like the flag would move and shit.
Yeah,
You remember
yeah,
those
yeah.
things?
You know what's
And,
crazy that mine was like that, but you could tell that I wanted to be a gangbanger.
I think everybody.
But this is
I
the
think
thing.
everybody was
No,
like that
but you
before,
gotta look.
bro.
You had to look at my display picture was me wearing a red bandana, throwing up blood.
Oh my God.
I had my pop's chain in the picture, a fat ass gold chain.
I hope that picture's not on the internet.
No, it's not. I deleted that, and I wish I had it still, because I would literally show you and be like, "Yo, look."
Well, on your computer.
It was off the computer, the old webcams on the computer.
Yeah, I know.
Mad crazy.
Shit, I do
Listen,
remember that picture.
Listen,
I do.
I had curls.
Yes.
Listen, I had
I
curls,
remember that
and
picture.
then
Yeah.
I remember I had that. I had Juice Santana with the red bandana, background. I had red things coming down.
Yeah, I remember.
Everything was
yeah.
red, bro.
Mhm.
And then every song I had, it had it with like somebody that was like a blood. Dipset, Lil
But
Wayne.
my nigga, we was lost. We was trying to find ourselves. Like we were trying to like
Listen, if
blend
my
in
parents would
and
not have
shit.
taken me to DR, I would have been a blood.
Oh my god.
I would have been banging.
Thank you, Chico's family for dragging his ass to DR.
My mom and dad said, "Nope, we
Well,
going to
not
DR
really,
for
because
5
you could have
years."
been a blood in DR if you wanted to. I mean, there
Hell
was
no,
bloods
I
in
was
DR
not
too.
out. No, bro. Hell no. Hell no.
What do you mean?
Bro, you didn't live in DR. You wouldn't know what that is.
I
That
did
shit
live
did-
in DR, but I just
Not
wa-
in that
but-
time. Not in the time where you could think
No.
about being a gang member. No.
No, I didn't.
I created
mean,
my own
came
clique
young.
out there. I had my own clique out there. Like when girls and dudes out here had their own shit. You know, dudes were doing their own little cliques. Like there was a whole bunch of like different names, like the street names. You had the West Side, you had the East Side, you had little cliques in between each neighborhood. I had that in DR. Like I created some shit like that. I forgot
What was the name of the nigga? The chimichurros and shit.
Nah, bro. It was some other. I forgot the name, man. I know it was something about Get Money though. It was Get Money something. And we had beads and everything. Like we had our own beads. Yeah, like
What the fuck?
like we was trying to create some shit out there.
Well, I was learning about that now.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Good thing I didn't know that. I would have whooped your ass.
nah. See that's the cool thing. That it was like I had back in the day. Even back in the day, you know how a lot of people would just have one circle.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was a young kid, I had different circles. Like there was always a different circle where I was experiencing some hood shit, and there was always a circle where I would just be like chilling with in some like good memories and just like fun, innocent memories. Like when we was chilling together, we had cool memories. We didn't have no wild shit. But then when I tell you like, I'll introduce you to some people that I used to hang out with, and then be like, "Yo, we used to do this," and you'd be like, "What? You don't remember you doing this shit?" I was like, "Yeah, nigga, because I learned from that. Like I was not coming and bringing that over here." So it was
Crazy.
funny because I was always around older crowd too. I was never the oldest. I was always the youngest in the room. So I was always learning from other people's
too.
mistakes.
Yep.
Always. So
Yep.
that was another advantage I had. What else? I had a pretty good childhood, man. You know, I broke a couple bones. I got stitches in all different places. Like, I had fun, man. I was a wild kid. And not wild where I made like really like crazy shit. But I was just wild where I couldn't stay still. Like,
You know,
I was jumping off of shit. I was always like cutting myself. Like
Yeah,
I was
I
wild.
remember, yeah.
I was never.
You know that
to be
there
sitting
was
down
some
anywhere.
people that I wish that were around here for this episode. There would be so many
Yo,
so many crazy
so-
and funny stories that people would
Yeah.
just anybody who would be listening to this podcast would just be
Rolling.
dying right now.
Yo, Esty listens to our podcast, so he's gonna be remembering this shit. 'cause
Esty
he was
has a
part
lot
that.
of Esty has a lot of
Yo,
a lot of stories.
This is the thing. I
A
remember
lot.
Esty. You know what pissed me off one time with Esty? Esty came one day to the crib, and he came down the hill, and he had like red marker. He had painted his shirt and made it look like he got shot.
Oh my
And he
god!
came
you
down.
serious?
He came down the. I'm talking about. You know how long that
Yeah,
hill
yeah,
was.
yeah.
He came from the top of the hill, all the way down, bro, acting like he got shot.
to mess
I
with
could
you?
imagine. To me, everybody in the house. It wasn't only me on 18th Street. Like everybody, my sisters came out. Like, oh my god! And he came and he just started laughing. We like, yo, bro, don't do that. Like I was tight, cause the thing was back in the day, Esty was fighting like every week.
Mhm.
He was suspended from school more than he was ever in high school.
Yeah.
So when he came, I thought it was real. Like I used to believe everything he told me too. I don't know if it was all real. Like it was
A lot
certain
of it.
things I'm
A
not.
lot of it-
But
a
I
lot
know
of it
that you
was.
could
Yeah.
vouch for certain things. And I was just like, bruh, that's what kind of like made me want to like, you know, go to Kennedy or East Side and gangbang. I was like, I want to go to one of these schools. I want to gangbang. And then
That shit was not.
thank God my
That shit
parents
was
was
not
like,
fun.
yo, you got jumped too.
Nah. Well, yeah, once.
Once.
Really bad.
And
That shit. The thing is that I had so many fights and I never got fucked up.
To the point where you're like,
No, like I never got
world star.
I never got fucked up. Period. Like I have fights and shit like that, and
You got snuck once. That's
I got
like,
snuck
that's not
once.
I don't
but
really
I
consider that
beat
big.
I beat that nigga's ass, which was funny, and then everybody was like, "Oh shit," that shit got me respect. And then but there was that
See, that's
one
another
time
thing.
that
you
one
could
time
actually
like
fight back in the day. Nowadays you be scared of fighting because you're like, yo, I might
my
die
nigga.
after this fight.
Like like there was a lot of times that you will fight, and then somebody will pull a knife on you or whatever. But
ain't no
It-
not too
not
many
a
people
gun
were
and shit like
not
that,
really
like-
not too many people were pulling out guns. Even at least where we was at, like you could hear in Compton, LA, like when
Exactly.
Patterson, we was really like people was really about fighting.
Yeah.
And then when things would get like really to the extreme where you got like people jumping in from like
yeah.
but then you'll hear probably some shit that somebody got shot at or some whatever. But when
Not-
it came
and
down to
not
respect in
even.
high school,
It was just like somebody got stabbed. That's it. Like
Yeah.
that's what because it was easier
Yeah.
to make some get a knife or whatever.
oh,
Than,
100%.
But I mean that one time I got jumped, man, that shit was ridiculous, bro. Like it wasn't even my fault, and it was a misunderstanding of the reason why it happened. And I mean the shit got solved like the next day, and them niggas got hit hard. I guess they thought like they were just like fucking around with some whatever kid, and they got hit hard. But
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Hey, shout out to those people that had my back and hit them niggas with everything.
Yo,
Cause
back
that
in the day-
that shit felt good to see, my nigga. Like them niggas, I saw them niggas the next day and it was all fucked up. I'm like, oh, okay, that felt good. That
Yeah.
made up for everything.
when people try to do the sneaky shit,
And then
just,
and then the
catch
funny
you
thing,
from,
the
like, off
funny,
guard, I
the
hate-
funny
I hate
thing
that.
is
I
like,
hated that.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to put it. I'm not gonna put the story out there like that. I don't really want to say it. But it's just like when you look at someone and you think like you see them and they're not about that life and they don't know nobody that's about that life, and then you just get hit and you like, damn, we fuck with the wrong one. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened to them niggas.
And that's the funny part because it was always like that with me. Like I never really got into some real deep beef, I would say, just because the people around me were I was always around well-connected people where it was like they would always diffuse everything.
Yeah.
Because it was just like you're not about to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And people would be like, nah. Like
Well, my thing was,
it was a lot of those moments, and in DR was only the moments where I really had those problems where I had to like fend for myself because I was really by myself. That's when I started the whole thing, like my whole little clique out there, because it was really just me meeting kids from the barrio and just being like, yo, let's rock. You know what I'm saying? And then that's another thing in DR. I had two different types of cliques. Like I had the hood where my pops was from, where I would go, where they were like really like my cousin was out there, was like feared heavy, and in high school over there, it was like a whole bunch of like kids that I didn't know. So I had to like create my own little like squad and my own little respect, because in the hood where I would go to after school, it was none of those kids were from around there, so none of those kids ever went around there. They were from other barrios, and some of them were from a different town, so they would just go on buses to the school where I was at. A lot of them didn't even know about the area that I was from out there, Los Cambrones. So back in the day, over there, it was kind of like you would think about Eastside and Kennedy. It was back in the day, like those hoods where like you had that hood against this hood, and then you'll be with the OGs, with the older heads, and you just be like the young kid just in the background, like, yeah, I'm rolling with these dudes. And then my cousin was one of the dudes that used to know how to fight. Like he could really fight. So like the kids our age was not fucking with us. Like it was like, yo, you this person's family? Yo, respect. Like keep it moving. So
yeah.
But back in the day, you had to really earn your shit. Like you was about
Yeah.
to push you had to put your fist up and really like rock out. And people respect that, because at the end of the day, there was people that would shake it off after and stuff like that. Now it just got to a point where people just want to be tough and just got something to prove to I don't know who, but
Yeah, well, in this episode we had a lot of good reminiscing. But
about the old days.
it's we trying to just let. Yeah, I'm not. And
In
I
our
don't want. And I
world-
don't
in
want.
our
I don't
old
want to say.
world.
I don't want to say that you guys have it easier now, like the younger version, like the younger people now. But damn, that makes me sound mad.
I'm
But-
young as hell, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
But you feel me? Like it's just different times. It's just
Yeah.
different times, and everybody. I definitely things are harder in a different way now, and we probably see it different because we went through different experiences. But man, just hang in there. You guys will be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that this generation, gotta pick up on certain things like the entitlement, being all entitled and shit. Even some of us get catch that energy and catch that, you know, that that habit of being like, just complaining and feeling like the world's against us and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
people, I think that the people not having patience with their results, all that shit is driving people like to, act out, to feel like they're not accomplishing anything, to feel like they're running out of time. And that's a good thing when you feel like you're running out of time, because don't always think that you got time, but at the same time, don't forget to live. Don't forget to enjoy what you got right now, and the things you got going on, and learning from those things, because that's what's going to make you to the person that you're trying to fight to be.
Definitely.
Whatever success you're fighting to get, whatever attention or recognition you're trying to get, you got to learn from those scars and those ups and downs. And a lot of people don't want to go through them. They just want to be there because they see people on vacation. They see people, not, having a regular job, or they see people just living life money free.
Well, you see a lot of people with the ending result now.
Yeah, with the end
you
result.
You don't see what they went through to do that. You don't see how many hours they put in that work. You don't see what they had to give up of buying the new J's or whatever, the new Yeezys and shit like that to go on vacation. Like, you don't see that. So a lot of people now, they see the ending result and they're like, man, like, I'm so broke. I wish I had money so I can do this, I can do that. I'm like, yo, these people are not balling. Like, they just hardworking people, and they willing to sacrifice things to be able to do
there's
other
people
things.
out there that behind the scenes, they live within their means, had to come up, flipped it, did what they had to do, starved for a while, looked broke for a while. You gotta look broke for a while, man. And that's one thing we don't want to do, because social media is so deceiving.
Yep.
And everybody looks good. You could be fresh as hell and be broke as fuck, and you look like you got it, and then it makes people feel like, damn, I'm falling behind. This person just, and that's why I was like, I appreciated J. Cole's interview, because it made me realize that, sometimes it's good to just get like a fast off of social media for a while, whether it's a couple of weeks or days, like detaching yourself from not even looking at it, and for those that run businesses and stuff like that, you could do it like, and you don't have to go weeks or months or years without using it, but you can go hours. You can when you feel the urge to look at social media just to look at it, fight it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Just, put your attention somewhere else. What I noticed about my conversations has lacked a little bit, and because of my lack of reading. I stopped reading completely for a while, and I look at books and I'm like, oh, but I could just look at a video. And I forgot the training that I had in my mind and the discipline when it came to reading my 10 pages, and really, like, my conversations were just a lot more, they had a lot more substance. I had more to say. I had more perspective, not just looking at videos and podcasts and YouTube stuff. And today I was like, yo, I gotta get back to reading, and I just grabbed my book today. And the one I'm reading right now, I saw the video version of it, but it's more, in depth. It's Simon Sinek, the something the why, the I forgot. Dude, it sucks because I have it in my book bag, but I'm not gonna get up to go get it. But start with why. That's what it is. Start with why. So he just talks about how he uses Apple as an example, how they were able to surpass Bill Gates because of how they led the company and the brand, starting with why versus just telling you the what. Yes.
Let me just jump to the Note to Self Monday right away. This is for everybody out there, all young millennials and people that just feel like, just involved in the today's world. Quote, shit is hard. Do it anyways. Like, shit is gonna be hard. You're gonna have to struggle. You got
and you better do it anyway.
You had to fuck up the quote, but like you couldn't let the quote be the quote. Like, you had to throw a joke in there, right? Wow.
I couldn't help it, bro.
Wow, man. Well, yeah, guys, just take it. Shit is hard. Do it anyways. It's gonna be hard to do certain things to move forward and to grow, but do it anyways, and I don't want to keep talking no more. That's it. He just fucked it all up.
It's all love, man. Everybody get it. You get it. You know, we don't gotta you know, be so serious, bro. Like, it's fun. At the end of the day, you take it or you don't.
I'm not saying it's serious,
but it was a good joke. You just mad because it's better than yours.
It was a good joke.
At the end of the day, man, we just here. We just had a good time. This is a good podcast to just recap, reminisce, talk, and just share some stories with you guys. Maybe you guys a little bit. We kind of like brung you into our lives, you know, get to know a little bit of us, who we are. We're gonna have more of those little stories, a little bit more about, you know, our past and things we used to do. I think it brings a connection because I'm sure people can relate to certain things we talked about today, and you know, we enjoy this. You know, if it's 20 people, if it's 5, 6, well, you know, damn near 100 already. So we're excited for the next 1,000 people that listen to this podcast. So yeah, man, that's the podcast. The positive note was dope. I'm just going rambling on, but that's it, guys. We out of here. It's the Cause and Effect podcast.
Peace.
Pull up to the block, you on static. He mad cause I got it and he had it. Fly a O to Orlando, then that's magic. If I gotta call her, then it's tragic. Big boy X6, we ain't walking shit. Boy pockets empty, why he talking shit? Number 1 on the list, I'm most wanted, bitch. Before I found my